Hey everybody, it is time once again for another exciting episode of the Chelada Boys. And this week, we ask the age-old question, where is everybody? And discuss the Fermi paradox. Ladies and gentlemen, what it do? It's your boy Dylan.
And this is Posh.
And we are the Chelada Boys.
Yes, sir.
Passeroni.
How's it going, brother?
Good to see you again, my man. I know this episode's going to be dropped late.
Yeah.
We've just been okay. So let me break it down for y'all. So we do this podcast for fun. Love everybody that listens. Thanks for subscribing and all whatever you do. And if you haven't, do it on whatever you're listening on. But my son's basketball games are usually on Thursdays, so we got to record on Fridays sometimes. But the season's coming to an end, so you can get used to getting your feel of the Chelada Boys on Fridays at 6 a.m. again pretty consistently. But yeah, that's the explanation behind that.
We got shit to do.
Mm-hmm.
Life don't stop. Mm-hmm. But we always make time for the podcast.
We do.
Because it is...
we love it.
It's one of our favorite... It's my favorite time of the week, podcast time. I love it. I get to come down, chill with my boy, drink some beers, talk about
something interesting. Let me tell y'all something. We got Mickey-Oli's
We
tonight.
on a diet.
But I've cracked the first one. Now all of a sudden it tastes normal. Try it. I know. But now all of a sudden it tastes normal.
Smell like your breath. No, I'm just kidding.
Sorry.
Oh, I got a piece of that P3 on there. Yeah, it does taste.
All of a sudden it tastes normal.
Tastes normal. First two drinks.
The first three drinks.
Not normal.
Were skunk.
Yeah, they taste like ass.
Posh almost threw up.
I did. Which it doesn't take a lot for me to almost throw up.
We legit need to get you a puke pan.
Yeah.
Because you were like...
I got a weak stomach, man.
Yeah.
I can't handle stuff. Like when I have to pick up dog turds out of the hallway, I'm like...
Yeah.
Yeah.
I have a decently good stomach, but...
I can clean baby shit, no problem. I don't know what it is. When
that
Luna
doesn't
takes
bother
a dump,
me either.
I'm like, no problem. But
Yeah,
if I have to pick up a
let's
dog
this
turd,
up.
I'm like,
Dog turds don't bother me either. But
maybe it's just these turds this dog is dropping.
I think like wiping an old person's butt, like duty, like I'm changing an old man's diaper.
Liver spot cheeks.
That would be hard.
Yeah.
I think I would be a little...
They definitely don't pay those people enough.
No.
They make it like $13, $14 an hour.
Nurses at the nursing home is... You need to pay. You need to make at least, like, the start pay should be $50 an hour.
Yeah. Or at least 25.
Why could they not?
At least
Why could
25.
they not? At least 25. I think more than that. 25.
I mean, if I'm wiping somebody else's grandpa's butt, I'm gonna need at least 25.
If I'm hitting them with an at least 35, at least,
okay,
at the very fucking least.
My man knows his worth.
I'm just saying, you're wiping butts and feet.
Wipe ass.
Great. You are prolonging the lives of old people who other people love so much that they're paying $5,000 a month for them to live there.
Yeah.
So you're making $5,000 a month per patient.
I think when it comes down to it, I'm just gonna take care of my dad and my mom.
Yeah.
And I'm just gonna let you live in your house.
That's what I'm saying. But, you know, most people, especially older people, like, they've got, like, 8, 9, 10 kids.
Yeah.
So.
But you got this stranger wiping your butt.
Yeah.
Fucked up. Take care of your parents.
I see what you're saying.
Yeah.
I thought you were saying, like, I'm going to take care of my parents in the sense of, like, they would be the ones that I paid to go to a nursing home. I wouldn't want my parents to go to a nursing home either.
No.
I wouldn't want them to. But if they became, like, child-like in their mind to where, you know, like dementia and, you know, these other...
They've started becoming a danger to themselves or others. Yeah.
You never know. Like, you might wake up and they've wandered off at 3 o'clock in the morning in the freezing rain.
They think it's 1934 in July.
20 miles, yeah.
And
no one can find them. That'd be a terrible way to go. But if it's something like that, like a mental deterioration kind of thing, then I'm probably going to put you in a nursing home. Because I just, for one, you couldn't live, there's no way you could live your life and take care of somebody like that.
But guarantee, if I do put you in a nursing home, I will be there every week.
Oh, yeah, I'm going to visit.
I will be there every week.
I'm going to visit.
You, so.
I'll probably visit 3 times a week.
Yeah, 2 or 3 at least.
2 or 3 times a week. You know, swing by on my way home from work for an hour.
I hit you on Wednesdays and Saturdays.
Yeah. What's up? Let's spread it out.
Yeah, let's get it spread out of here like some butt cheeks.
Mom, spread Spread it out.
No, don't. No. No, not your mom's. I mean, unless you have to.
Yeah.
I mean, you got to take care of your mom.
Could you wipe your mom's butt?
Yeah. She wiped mine for how many years? You know what I'm saying? For so how many years?
I would not like it, and I think I think it would be like a mental.
Yeah, I would get no pleasure.
It would become a core memory that haunted me for my life, but I would do it.
Yeah, 100%.
Dad too. Dad, I wipe your butt. Don't want to. I don't want to.
Yeah.
Just keep your mind about you. How about that? How about we just both decide that we're gonna?
How about we live healthy from here on out?
Yeah, let's change it up. Cheers.
Cheers to that. To not wiping asses that aren't ours.
So, a little bit more on topic. The Fermi paradox. It's not something that people have heard of as far as like what the label of it is, but it's something that everybody's thought of.
So for me, the Fermi paradox was totally something I had never even heard of up until you told me last week. Yeah, last week, and then.
Well, I hadn't heard about it until probably a week before that.
Yeah. As
far as like the name or the definition of it, but like I said, everyone's asked the question, and I've asked the question myself, but I never knew that there was a paradox that was actually named. There was an actual name for the question that I was asking myself. Right. But the Fermi paradox, it happened in like the question that was asked was from Enrico Fermi. Who's actually a physicist, a Nobel Peace Prize winning physicist. He was the first person to create an active nuclear reactor. Yeah.
So big moves.
Yeah, he was doing things. Moves. But he was like, this was during the height of the Cold War.
We're back.
Yeah. Yeah, we're back there.
Welcome back.
Welcome back to the Cold War.
Yeah.
But he asked the question basically, through all the math and the vastness of the universe. This is basically what I'm doing now is I'm explaining to you what the Fermi paradox is.
Right.
They were actually just having lunch and just having talks in the midst of.
I know the story's kind of cool about it. Like, there's just all these really smart physicists and scientists and stuff coming together, and they were going to lunch, and everybody was talking about how flying saucers could potentially not be real and stuff.
They were
like
breaking
that.
the mundane. They were like they were working on these very important and difficult things.
And this is in the 1950s.
Yeah,
these people are talking about this kind of stuff.
and atomic bombs and all these other things and nuclear reactors and all this other shit.
Flying saucers, intelligent life out there. And, they said it started out as like a multiple it started out as one conversation about UFOs and kind of led, and how they chain link into different conversations.
Right.
And finally, they were having a conversation about extraterrestrial intelligent life. And what did Fermi, but where is everybody?
Right. That's the question. That's the Fermi paradox. Where is everybody?
We've come up with this idea that it doesn't take a whole lot for life to actually begin in the universe. Like, if you think about it, all you need is the right chemicals and the right combination and the right distance from the sun, and you've got life. That's
the Goldilocks zone of your star.
It is the perfect formula for life. And mathematically, this should be happening all over the infinite known universe. Right. The visible universe to us is 90 billion light years or something like that. We can see 90 billion light years out.
Can we?
Yep.
Is that really?
Yep. That's how much
90 billion light years we can see that far?
90 billion. You might want to Google check that, but I'm pretty sure that's what I read. 90 billion, or maybe it's 90 million. But either way, a long way, but not really a long way in the grand scheme of the universe. So, he was saying if life is so common and life would be so easy, it only takes 20% of a world to be developed for life to start to form. Where is everybody?
Right.
Why aren't we seeing intelligent life? And
that was me.
Okay,
sound like the door did.
It did, bro. The chair threw its voice.
So we can see about 46.5 billion light years away.
I was halfway there.
Yeah.
Or halfway.
Yeah,
I was over. Yeah.
You were basically half. You say 90.5.
I was saying 90 billion, but it's 46.5 billion. So half of that, what I said. It's 46.
Still, though, 46.5 billion light years.
And that's going to change as soon as the...
That's saying that it would take... And our gauge of light is, how far light can travel, which is a speed that we haven't been able to replicate. Yet.
That's because it's the constant in the simulation. If you get to light year speed and you get to where you're going, there will be nothing because the code hasn't caught up yet. Anyways, but yeah, the Fermi paradox is it's interesting because it's still speculatable. You could still speculate on it.
And you know that 46.5 billion light years, that is just like that you can see.
What we can see visibly
So the
from our
furthest
Earth.
out we can see is about 6.5 billion light years away, which is crazy, but it also means you can look back into the past and try to figure out how the universe formed, which again is what cosmologists do.
Cosmologists.
Do.
That's what they do's.
But as far as like radio frequencies and shit go, we can. I think it was 200 billion.
Yeah.
So
Goes a little
we've sent out these radio frequencies, and we constantly do this. I mean, we've also listened. We've also tried our best to listen from all angles, and I think it said we could reach out to 200 billion light years away. So if there was anything that happened 200 billion light years away, or in that something happening at that distance, we would have heard it.
And they made some sort of radio broadcast or anything like that.
Yeah.
We would have heard it.
We would have heard it, unless they are an underwater civilization. Because radio waves don't travel underwater.
There's something to think about.
Yeah.
But if they're underwater, they'll have no need for radios. Just whisper to a fish, hey, go tell this motherfucker this.
Hey.
Aquaman.
Tell SpongeBob you got to work tomorrow.
Tell Jason Momoa what's going on.
Yeah.
But, yeah, man, it's an interesting theory for the fact I come up with a way to, like, envision it in your mind. And I hope this works for you as well as it did for me. Picture a football field in your mind.
Okay.
The football field is the universe.
Okay.
Now, every 10-yard line, there is one single ant. Would you, as an ant on the 10-yard line, be able to see the ant at the 20-yard line?
No.
Exactly. Now, part of the Fermi...
I'd say to scale, that's probably just our own solar system as far as scale.
Yeah, to scale. It would probably be our own solar system. But even then, if you're looking for an ant and something so vast, it's going to be hard to see.
Yeah.
Unless this intelligent life form has got to stage 9 of the plan, which is colonizing its own galaxy. So let's say humans colonized all of the Milky Way. Mm-hmm. Every planet in the Milky Way had some sort of human life on it, or, you know, was able to get to that planet some way. Now we're talking about a mound of ants. We're talking about millions, maybe even billions of ants all on one yard line.
Yeah.
You would be able to see that.
Yeah.
So what the Fermi paradox is telling me is, yes, there are little ants out there, but you can't see them because they're so small and it's so vast, so much to look through and to try to find that you'll spend your entire life looking for it. But if these ants were able to colonize an entire area, you would be able to see it, which means we are either going to be the first planet to colonize our entire galaxy, or the first civilization to colonize our entire galaxy and be seen, or it has already happened and they're so far away that we can't get to it, or they're so far in the future that if we're traveling, the universe is always expanding. So imagine being on a flight and you're going to Australia, but Australia is moving away from you at the same speed you're traveling, or even faster than the speed you're traveling. You're never going to get there. So I know what you're thinking. What does this got to do with the Fermi paradox? Like, what is that with the Fermi paradox? The universe is so vast, and life is so slow at forming, and intelligence life is so slow at forming that it'll take another 4.5 billion years.
And you've got to keep
even
into account the fact that we're moving 448,000 miles per hour through space.
Yeah.
That alone blows my mind. So not only are we moving 450,000 miles per hour through space, but our sun is moving, and we are doing this while our sun is moving. It blows my mind, the whole concept of just our own little constellation.
Trying to land on a continent that's constantly moving, basically.
And not just moving forward, but swirling around that star. You're not going to land on a star.
And your chances of finding us are so minuscule that, I mean, you could go your entire life. You can go thousands of lifetimes.
If you think
without
about that
ever
big
seeing
picture of all the universes that are in like one spot, that was the size of a fucking postage stamp.
I mean, all
that
the
they looked at.
galaxies.
Yeah.
All the galaxies in one spot. Yeah.
That was the size of a postage stamp that they were looking at for 3 or 4 months.
Yeah.
How many fucking postage stamps could you fit in the sky?
Billions.
Around the entire world.
Yeah, billions. And it's not just back or forward. It's up, down, diagonal,
Yeah.
any fucking
Yeah.
direction you can think of. There's
Yeah.
a place to look, and there could potentially be life. But the universe is so vast. I think you said this the other day. It's like 7 times 10 to the 22nd squared.
It's 10 to the 24th.
Okay.
Yeah.
But that
Oh, wait a
number
minute. Maybe
doesn't
that's,
compute.
maybe that's the amount of galaxies. That might be the amount of galaxies in the universe.
All I know is that's a big number. I can't put a number in that.
No.
It's something like 76 tillion different types of planets out there.
Researchers dubbed the extreme deep field
Bro,
all
your chair
in
is fucking
It's
me
this.
up. Oh, is it? Yeah. Every time I'm like, who's here?
100 billion galaxies in the universe or so, but this number is likely to increase to about 200 billion as telescope technology in space improves. James Webb, we're still waiting on that to...
We're going to get that information back, and everything that we know might change completely.
So that might double the amount that we think is there just based on the advance in technology that we have. So think about it in another 50 years whenever we double that, and we double that, and we double that, and then before you know it, there's 50 trillion galaxies.
Yeah.
Our solar system is not an entire galaxy. There are other like stars around us. We are a part of the Milky Way galaxy.
Yeah.
And our solar system is just a speck in that.
Yeah. So the Milky Way galaxy is about 14 billion years old, almost 14 billion years old. Our little solar system constellation of planets against our stars is only 4.5 billion years old. So our galaxy is much older than we are, and I think that is going to be the Big Bang or whatever you want to call it.
That's
universe.
that's the theory.
Moving
There's
through.
no way, I don't think, to prove the theory.
Until intelligent life gets here, you know what I'm saying? Or we get somewhere, we'll either be the first to do it. I think intelligent life is
Okay,
already...
so the galaxy's 13.8 billion.
Yeah, like I said,
years old.
almost 14 billion years old.
That's a long time.
Yeah.
But how do we know that? I guess we do based on studies.
They
I guess,
just found out
interesting.
in science where the meteor that killed the dinosaurs came from.
Oh, really? They
Yeah,
just found that out.
They just found that out. You probably missed it because COVID, but science marches on,
Right.
and they keep finding stuff. And this, like, I think it was the year 2020 or 2021, they found where the meteor or I don't know what it's called, a meteor hit Earth and destroyed the dinosaurs. They figured out where that meteor came from in the galaxy or in the universe, which is fucking crazy. Like, so many smart fucking people, dude.
Well,
On
that's
that.
all the smart people that we have. So there's the theory
And we're
that
barely making a dent.
there's the theory. All right, so you would think that this many opportunities for there to be intelligent life, there's just no way that there's not. There's just no way that there's not.
Old Posh has said it 1,000 times. If there's mathematically, it's impossible.
Mathematically, it's impossible. But think about the fact that Mars probably had life. Now, I'm not saying intelligent life. I think Mars actually has life right now on it. It has 2 permanent caps, polar caps that are frozen right now that have fucking liquid, but
I
it's
think
frozen.
They found life in space, but intelligent life is what
That's the question.
That's the
there.
question.
The question is, there's no doubt that there's life
Yeah.
everywhere. I mean, if you think about it, if you boil it down to it, the fucking sun itself is life.
Yeah.
It is living out its life. It's not like a pulse kind of thing, but
It's
it's,
true. I didn't think about it like that.
it's living its life. There's a life of span of
I think there's
suns
like
and
some
all these
sort of
other
like
things.
little space shrimp that they found that could, or molecule or something that could live like in negative 200-degree weather that's alive in space. But intelligent life, which if you look back in the history of the universe, intelligence doesn't have a whole lot to do with survival. You don't have to be intelligent to survive. If you look back at fossils from prehistoric ages, these things they weren't using tools and constructing cities, but they still lived.
They were still. I would still consider them intelligent life because they know that they got to hunt. They know they got to like.
I think it's just instinct. They know that they have to eat. You feel that rumble in your stomach.
When does intelligence become instinct? When does instinct become intelligence?
When you eat the shrooms, man, and you become conscious. When you smoke the DMT, dog.
No dinosaurs ate fucking shrooms, man.
Dimethyltryptamine is what makes consciousness.
But honestly, when does instinct go from being intelligence to just instinct?
Self-awareness.
Right.
I truly believe it's just in self-awareness. Knowing that I am alive roaming a rock that floats through space and stuff like that that's a burden to carry.
Well, there's the theory of the rare earth theory, where so many different things have to go right, to where like the span of our Earth's life has led to us becoming this, and it is just such a rare thing. We had to have water, we had to have oxygen, we had to have all these things so that we could advance and evolve.
Not to mention the filters that we had to go through that could have been the downfall
and
or destruction
where our
of us
planet was
completely.
positioned from its sun.
Yeah.
Also, the Goldilocks zone.
Yeah. I mean, it all, like, for us, life is just so normal because we've always lived here. We have our history. We know how babies are made. We feel like we've got the world.
We think we know our history.
Yeah. But the truth is, man, we don't know shit.
We don't.
When it comes down to the brass tacks, we don't know shit. We haven't explored all of the ocean. We haven't explored all of the Amazon. And we're already taking on space like we're just some fucking extra credit
like the
kid.
Space is more accomplishable than the fucking ocean.
Yeah. Well, how does that work? Yeah.
You know what I thought about? Like, if you take a step back and look at the universe, have you ever been underwater in like a lake or something? And you see the water, you're underwater and you're looking with, you get your eyes open and you see the sun shining down and you see all these little speckles. Everywhere. That looks like the universe from a step back.
I think you could see the universe in a lot of things here on a smaller scale.
Yeah.
Like, if you just, like, really pay attention, you're like, the universe could be inside of that snowflake or
there
that
could be universes
grain
inside
of
of ourselves, each individual.
Buddy, I am sorry. That is bad. That is bad. Where's those balls at? The little jiggly smell good balls. Pull them out. That is terrible.
They're over there.
I am so sorry, bro. That is. I'm
sorry,
really
I don't really smell it.
Oh, that's good. You're going to.
That's good. Enjoy. But not the fact that what I was getting at when I was talking about Mars, about the potential of life on Mars, is we think about, like, there's got to be life on, the universe somewhere because there's so many fucking people, or not people, but so many universes and galaxies and clusters and solar systems and all these other things. Well, fuck, the planet next to us might have had fucking life, intelligent life.
Or water on it, which means you
it
could
had
sustain
water.
life.
It for sure had water.
Yeah. You know what's going to happen to Mars? Mars is going to be the first planet to be colonized besides Earth. And then from there, we're just going to keep...
Eventually.
Eventually, yeah. As long as we don't destroy ourselves first. Because
we're headed that way.
That is the big conundrum, too. That's the paradox inside the paradox. That we could become advanced enough to colonize our own galaxy and then become big enough to start traveling the universe. And maybe we'll have ships built that generations and generations and generations can grow on.
Right.
So by the billions of years that it took you to get to this place, you still have fresh human beings to get out and go, ooh, new world. You know what I'm saying? But we're not there yet.
How far
obviously.
do you think in the future that it would take? How long do you think it would take for
eon
for man to discover how to travel at the speed of light?
Another eon, another million years. I really do. I mean, technology is growing as fast as it can possibly go right now.
Technology has exploded and it doubles year by year.
Yeah.
Because you have the previous knowledge from the previous people who discovered the things that were undiscovered.
But it'll never happen in our lifetime. It won't happen in our kids' lifetime or their kids' lifetime.
You know what? I was thinking of something the other day. Like, we are destroying our planet. But you and I won't live long enough to see the destruction of our planet.
No. We will just start to feel the very beginning side effects of it. We will feel that we're already feeling the beginning side effects of it.
And it's weird because that gives me a comfort, but it's a weird comfort. It's kind of
Doesn't
like a
give me
selfish.
comfort at all, 'cause
It's
my
a
daughter's
selfish
still
comfort.
gonna live here.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And I don't
It
think
is
our.
selfish,
I don't
yeah.
think. Yes, it's a selfish comfort.
Very selfish, yeah.
But I don't think our kids will see the end, but they'll feel the effects more than we do. I think what will happen if it's going that way, around here we'll have warmer. It will just be warmer throughout the year. But I almost question is that the end of our planet, or is that just kind of like our season shifting to different areas? Because there are spots in the world that are always hot.
Yeah.
Maybe those spots become like Kentucky weather, and we become always hot.
Yeah.
And then just over the time, like,
Well, they say colder climates are going to be the ones that people are soughting after in the future. Like what's cold now, Canada, up north in America, even farther north, Russia up north, all that. Those are going to be the habitable. That's the word.
the habitable.
The habitable climates in the future. That's where people are going to go. They're going to navigate north because it's going to be a little bit cooler, and you kind of escape them pockets in the
Right.
ozone layer below the equator there that are just going to be roasting your ass.
And you know what? As far as the conspiracy side of it, if you want to get conspirative about it, we just believe what we're told.
That's true.
We trust the scientists because
Indoctrinated?
We're taught indoctrinated.
Yeah.
We're taught to trust them, and I'm not saying this is not me saying that you can't trust scientists and doctors and physicists and
I feel like on the whole, they're
yeah.
all trying to progress.
Discover this.
They're all trying to discover.
But if
and
there was a
make new
big
things.
giant scheme that was against humanity to try to prevent us from some certain type of knowledge, it'd be a great way to get us to believe, not
Yeah.
really to question.
Well, how many times has that happened already
How many times
that we
are-
don't know about?
Right, and how many times have you been to space? How many times have you actually been to space? Exactly.
Bagel.
And there's the very few, a small portion of humanity who's ever actually been to space.
Less than 1%. The point.
What if we found out how to get to space? What if we get out there and we break through the ozone and it's fucking water or some shit?
Or just Well, I don't think it's water.
I don't think it's water, but I'm just saying, like, what if you
I
busted
get what
through
you're saying.
and
You
it was
don't
like
know.
water?
You've
You
never been to
don't
space.
know.
You don't know what it's like.
Maybe
Yes.
maybe our planet is just a bubble under the fucking line of the water.
Maybe we're just the eye of a blue giant. That's Greek mythology for you.
Hey.
It's the universe is what mind fuck, dude. Like when you really start,
It's incomprehensible.
yeah, when you try to think about the vastness of the universe, your mind will loop back on itself.
Yeah.
You're like, oh shit, that was hard to do, and that is basically the Fermi paradox. is we are
carry on, Posh, because I'm gonna go pee real quick.
Okay, I'm right behind you after this.
Okay.
What was I saying?
We were talking about how the universe is the vastness is just
Yeah, okay, that's right. The vastness of the universe is so great, so grand, that our chances of finding intelligent life is shrunk down to almost none, because we're searching such a vast area, and a vast area is searching for us. I mean, there might be intelligent life out there looking for us right now, but damn, we'll be long dead and gone before they get here. Or maybe they've already came and they left and they're like, yeah, this planet is still in the very early stages of being a planet and we can't mess with them, and we can maybe guide them in the direction. They can guide us in the direction that we're supposed to go. Maybe they deter nuclear war. Maybe I don't know. Maybe they are watching us. Maybe they've already been here. But chances are the first intelligent life that we see or know will be our own. It is our own. It's the only one we know of for facts. I mean, yes, the U.S. government has released that UFOs exist. These things exist, but, I mean, nobody's ever met an alien and been able to talk about it. Nobody's ever met a new extraterrestrial and been like, oh, yeah, bleep blurp came down to
Bob
poker night.
Lazar.
Yeah.
Bob Lazar tried to tell us about it.
Yeah, so
Everybody thinks he's crazy.
and that is that's the problem, dude.
Yeah.
The moment a person that is usually held high regards in the academic world, somebody like Bob Lazar, who has multiple degrees,
Who had
and
clearance
has,
to Area 51
Area
for
51,
a while.
done very impressive jobs And we're so quick to dismiss them as crazy when they've seen things that you can't even fathom.
And that's what gets you on the side of the conspiracy of it, and thinking that there's some other greater power, and we'll call it an entity, of like the American government that is trying to persuade you to not ask these questions. Like, it's just crazy. Don't.
Hey man, just go to work. Just go to work.
Yeah,
Don't
just
worry
go to
about
work.
this shit. Just make
The
sure
economy.
that our families are set for the next eon.
The hippie part of me like hits with the none of this matters, man. And it
True.
that's a depressing thought to me personally, but it's also
A relieving
a comforting.
thought.
Yeah.
To me, it's
comforting
not
thought.
so depressing. To me, it's like, okay, so all this shit that I'm stressed out about,
These mistakes
worrying about,
I make are mistakes, but on the grand scale of things,
they don't matter.
who gives a fuck?
Yeah, nobody.
Yeah.
All right, I'm gonna go pee now.
Go take your pee. So, but if you think about like how, like Posh was talking about, how huge the universe is, there's no way that there's not life out there. Now, I'm not going to say intelligent life, but there's no way that there's not just life. There's something obvious. I think there's no question. I almost think there's no question that there's intelligent life, but there's no question that there's life. Period. There's something. You're telling me that there's not something living on all these other planets that, have habitable zones, and there's not. Like we were talking about, there's got to be oxygen. There's got to be water. Water H2O is a big part of what helps develop life into an ecosystem or an Earth. But there's life for sure, but as far as intelligent life, that's another question. But I also think that there's no way that there's not, and maybe they just haven't. Maybe they're like us, like we're smart, we're intelligent. I'm talking to you from bumfuck Kentucky, on a screen, or in your ear or whatever, and you can understand what I'm saying and all this other shit. There's got to be intelligent life somewhere.
Right.
I think, but I just think that maybe they're on the scale that we're at, and they're having trouble reaching out like we're having trouble reaching out.
Yeah, it's just a struggle.
And you got to think about the distance between these universes and these solar systems and these other planets and the planets that might be intelligent.
Or inhabitable.
What I was telling them is there's no doubt that there's life, because there are other planets that have oxygen and water and all these things that you need to have life. But intelligent life is the question.
What do they call them? Exoplanets?
Yeah.
Exoplanets that could potentially be habitable in our solar system.
Another Earth.
Another Earth, yeah. And they've found thousands of these planets. But, I mean, how do you know if there's something living on it? If there's something even microbial size living on it, how would you know just by looking through a telescope?
So they used to do this little test where, like, they would look at a star and they would look at the planets that were orbiting the star. And once it crossed over to the light side, they would use the ozone of that planet to look around that planet. Yeah,
deeper into it.
And if it showed potential to have life on it, then they would study that planet more. But if not, they would move on. But you got to think about how there's not enough time in the. There's not enough time.
Time is the issue. Time for one lifespan. You're not gonna. It's literally a legacy that has to be passed down and passed down and passed down and worked on every day for the next 500,000 years, probably, for us to make any type of headway.
Same skill if you think about the fact that that technology doubles one year and then it doubles again every year.
Yeah.
So you got 1 times the technology, then you got 2 times the technology, then you got 4 times the technology, 8 times, 16 32, 64,
Yeah, just keeps going. Which is great.
Millions of years of that, and we might
be able to sustain. We can't even figure out how to get off of fossil fuel right now.
Well, we can, but it's such a cash crop that
and keeping the power on. It's like with solar, and it's kind of getting off topic, but with that type of energy, like solar energy or wind or anything like that, once the power plant is on and it's running, it'll sustain a certain amount. But if it goes off and kicking it back on, it takes a lot more. It's like starting your car. It takes a lot more gasoline to get that thing running.
If I'm a leader of any kind of like group in the world, any kind of country, and I would consider myself a humanitarian. At the moment that we discover that we can just power all this shit by the sun and not burn and destroy our ozone anymore, I'm converting my entire country to that.
Yeah.
That's facts.
Yeah.
You ain't got to worry about storms and shit. I mean, you know, if your solar panels get destroyed or whatever,
Or if you
got
can
to
harness that storm and use the energy into
wind turbines,
yeah,
baby.
Exactly. If a fucking tornado,
You can use water.
We're gonna have power.
You can
for
use water,
weeks.
wind, the sun.
Yeah. Earth, wind, and fire, baby.
I don't understand how they haven't created cars that are just like will never stop, because you can create energy through the turn of the wheels.
They've created cars that run on water, but
Killed that man.
yeah, they killed that guy because you can't make no money off that because water's everywhere.
That's our biggest problem.
This world is 70%
our
water.
man-made currency has contributed to most evil on this planet. Sex, probably second.
Yeah, and not to mention the slowing rate of what could be
Of our advancement.
Yeah, of our advancement. The greed has slowed us down. If you're so worried about just creating an empire and generational wealth and not the well-being of the planet is not going to get any better. But if you turn your mind to making sure that this planet goes on and becomes something greater than what it is when you were here, we're going to survive.
Right.
But right now, we're so caught up in wars and making that war machine churn.
Have you ever
and
seen
fucking blowing each other up for dollars?
In Time?
Yeah, I love that
Justin
movie.
Timberlake?
I was in that movie.
Shout out.
Shout out JT.
That movie, first of all, is one of the most underrated movies of all time.
100%.
One of the most underrated movies of
great movie.
all time. That is a fantastic film.
I don't care what nobody says. JT's a boss.
But the statement that, whenever, spoiler alert, if you haven't seen it, surely by now you've seen a fucking movie that was made in 2009 or some shit. The guy comes to the ghetto, what they call it in that movie, to where people were poor and, they're always running out of time. And this guy shows up with over a century of time on his clock. Mm-hmm. And he's just been alive for, what?
100 years, 105, 110 years.
And he's like, I'm just ready to go. I've lived it's ran its course. I'm done. I'm ready to go.
It's funny you bring that up. Me and my dad were talking about that the other day. That he's like, it's so true that old people. He's like, as the world progresses, he's like, old people get ready to die. He's like, they're ready to die because like the world that they knew doesn't exist anymore. It's like left them behind.
Yeah.
So they're just
technology is why.
Yeah, why am I even here? I don't know how to do all this shit. This is anything anybody's concerned about now.
Right.
And my old ways of living are gone, long gone.
But what I was getting at with bringing that up is what resonated with me whenever he was having the talk with the guy after he saved his life. He was like, "There's more than enough time to go around to keep everyone for plenty." Yeah.
Enough to live a life.
And there's enough of our man-made currency to make everyone live a happy life, but the greed, man. Earth is a killer. Earth is a planet of greed. That is a fact. And that is one of the biggest flaws in our civilization is greed.
And our genetic makeup is
war is because of greed. No, I want that. No, I want that.
Nobody
let's
wants,
fight over it.
No real person wants war. Anybody that's going to profit off of it wants war.
Right.
People like you and me who sit at home and send our sons and daughters over to die to fight these wars are totally against it. You see people in Russia right now protesting what's happening in Russia. There's Russians going, yo, Putin, not cool, dude.
Yeah.
Not cool.
Yeah.
And, which we talked about that on the way over here a little bit,
Yeah.
I don't want to get too much into Russia right now because I'm
right.
sure
We're
you're
trying
seeing
to distract your mind from that.
Yeah,
This is what we do.
But it's a perfect example of greed and human nature. Mm-hmm. What is human nature? And you told me something about the Ukraine was threatening to cut Russia off from the world.
From one of their ports.
From one of their ports, which is where they got most of their imports
so
year
Russia's
round.
such a cold country that they've got one port that they can use year round, and they've got these other ports that they can use to bring their supplies in.
Probably
as
from
long as it's not winter.
April to September they can use it, and then from then on it's just frozen.
You have
wasteland.
one port.
Yeah.
Have you seen the size of Russia?
It's huge.
It's massive, and I know most of it's
inhabitable.
Yeah, but still a lot of people there. But what I was getting on, before we get past this on the thing of war, anyone who's enlisted, you're a brave soul.
Love you.
I'm
appreciate you.
Thank God for you.
Yeah,
Because we don't have these things going on our own front doors because of what you do.
Yeah.
Proud of you. Thank you for your service.
Love you.
Thank you so
yes,
much.
100%. Take a second to appreciate yourself because you did something that is selfless. You
But
did
as
something-
a father,
yeah, it's scary.
I don't want any of my children to go to war.
Yeah.
I don't.
Yeah.
I don't want them to join the military. I don't.
You know, there are a few...
Because I know it boils down to the fact that there's these old men with a lot of money who are fighting these wars with young lives.
Yeah. People who will never get to go home again. People who will never get to see their kids
It's
or
the
their
ultimate
family.
sacrifice.
Yeah.
And I'm not religious in any aspect. I'm more spiritual, I like to think.
Right.
But as Jesus said, to lay down your life for your brother is the ultimate sacrifice.
Yeah. Which I think we would all like to think that we could do. You know what I'm saying? Like if shit hit the fan and
I'd
it
take a
came
bullet
down,
for you.
yeah, I'd take
I
a
would
bullet,
take a bullet for you.
I'd jump in the way. And we all say that in the time, but we don't know.
Right.
This kind of like
I
going
feel
back
like
to
I
that
know,
book, The Lucifer Effect.
But it's you're acting on a scale of people that you don't know that well. You went to basic and all those other things.
Yeah.
With them. But you know, between you and I
Yeah.
I know I would jump in from a bullet for you.
I would too, brother. 100%.
I know I would.
Anytime that a situation where war is on our forefront, like we're about to go to war, I'd try not to weigh in until I hear my military friends weigh in.
Yeah.
I want to know what my people in the military think. If
But
they're
you know,
gung-ho for it, then
some-
I'm like, all right, they're ready.
Sometimes they are propagandized about that
Well,
shit too.
they're definitely broke down mentally from who they were as a civilian into...
There's no war without propaganda.
Yeah,
That's facts.
I am now
And this
on
side's
the
telling
cutting
you
edge
that we're
of
the good
fighting
guys,
spirit.
and the other side that we think are the bad guys, they're telling their guys that they're the
Right.
good guys, and everyone thinks they're fighting for a noble cause, which not always.
I mean, when you put
But now,
yourself
like,
in their
like,
shoes,
like the destruction
they
of
might be.
humanity and like the fucking turmoil of families and children and like just innocent lives.
That
is a noble cause,
Yeah.
and that's what a lot happens a lot. But it's not the reason you're there. They're not just It's not happening because it's just happening. There's an ulterior motive.
I think if the world stopped focusing on money, greed, and power, that we would advance in a 10 years' time what it would take us if we kept
If
to
it was
that
just all
mental
about
in a
love and
1,000
taking
years.
care of each other.
If it was just about supporting Earth, borders don't exist no more, races don't exist anymore. There's only one race, and it's the human race, and we're all just one colonized
you be
planet.
careful. You be careful when you talk about that because you're talking about a new world order.
I'm talking
right
about
there.
a new world order, which, to an extent, when I think about it, doesn't sound as
I don't
terrible.
think it sounds terrible either.
There are things about it that are appealing, and then there are things about it that are really scary that allows you as a person that's the 99% of the population are going to have to suffer through because the 1% want to stay on top.
That's what it all boils down to. That's
That
the whole
is what
reason
it boils
for
down
war.
to. At one point, hopefully, in human history, I'm sure it's happened before, but it's very rare. At one point, I hope that the majority, the 99% of us that don't want war anymore,
We
the
can
99%,
conglomerate
yeah,
and be on the same page.
and say, fuck these guys who are just making money off of this, off this turmoil and this fucking constant suffering in the state that this world is in. Fuck them.
Power is toxic.
Yeah, power is toxic. And you know what? I don't think anybody's above it. I think when those zeros start flashing through your face and all those commas and all that money that's about to
Right,
come your
yeah,
fucking
yeah.
way, you would be quick to say, fuck the world.
Yeah, and people
Fuck the
people
world.
like to
I'm
think that
set.
they wouldn't. Even the best people like
Yep.
to think that they wouldn't. But if somebody hits you with like $50 million and they're like, I'm gonna take care of you, I'm gonna take
What
care
if
of
somebody
your family.
hits you with 10 bill? 10 bill. Hey,
Excuse me.
you going to get 10 bill to
10
not talk
bill.
about this, to not do nothing
All right.
about it, to never say nothing again about the shit that you know. 10 bill.
I'd like to say that I would say no to this, but I've never been presented with this opportunity. We're gonna
I'm
give you
sorry,
we're going to
world.
give you $10 billion,
To never.
but we have to kill 50 people.
Oof. Smoke them. Just kidding.
Saying, I know.
Yeah, I know.
I've never been presented with that question, and like I said, I like to say that I would say no, But $10 billion would take, and that's a selfish thing to say.
That's a fast stack.
That is
buddy.
a selfish thing to say, but $10 billion will take care of you and your family
for the
for
next
100 years.
Probably more than that. You probably got the next 500 years on
And
the
wealth
block.
generates wealth.
Yeah.
That's just
once you
continue.
got that money, and if you can protect it, which you see a lot of in pharmaceutical companies right now with pharmaceuticals. Okay, a lot of this nation is moving towards legalizing weed.
Yeah.
And a lot of people are still under the impression that weed is a drug, weed is bad, man.
I'm
Weed
gonna
is
take my fucking Percocets and Lortabs.
and eat my Mickey D's and drink my Coca-Cola, but this drug addict over here is smoking weed. Bro, at the end of the day, what it comes down to is you could either go to them and buy your medicine, or you could grow your own medicine in your backyard.
Yeah.
And they don't want you growing your own medicine.
No, they don't want you. They don't want you self-sufficient. They do not want that.
If you're self-sufficient, you don't need them
That's
anymore.
why the world isn't solar powered right now. They don't want that. They make money off that oil. If you can pay a one-time payment and get yourself self-sufficient to where your house powers itself and you don't have to pay that bill anymore,
Right.
who's making money?
The war machine just started turning again yesterday. Okay, Russia put its
Attacked
war
Ukraine.
machine in, and one of the first effects we're going to see of it.
Yeah, it was yesterday.
Yeah, yesterday. One of the first effects that we are going to see of it is going to be gas prices rise. Things that we get, oil, gas, all this stuff that we get from Russia is about to rise. And whoever owns the import, export of all this stuff is about to cash the fuck out.
And they're not thinking about you.
They don't give a
They ain't
fuck
thinking
about
about
you.
me.
Don't give a fuck about. They're thinking about
We
their
are-
kids 400 years in the future and how they're going to be living.
I just want to say we are so far off topic right now. That's all right though.
But it all feeds
What we
in,
like to do is, it does
it all
feed in.
feeds into why we haven't been able to find intelligent life, because there's a good chance that intelligent life has gone through this.
If you boil it all down, it resonates into what we're talking about
Yeah.
still.
It could be okay. So
And
an
maybe
intelligent-
these other intelligent lives have their own turmoils going
Their
on within
own wars.
themselves.
That's something that you
they
have
don't
to
really
factor
have
in.
enough time or money or whatever the fuck they use to put what it would take to make contact with us into play.
we're spending more money on making bombs and blowing people up than we are exploring the universe.
And that's just facts.
And that is facts. And it's just because we know that we're going to get you could send a $6 billion shuttle out to space and never see it again. That's $6 billion you just threw out a window.
Yes.
But you can go blow a country up and make $400 million off of that in the first 3 weeks because of gas prices, because of ammunition, because of guns, because of food, because of medical supplies, because of all this stuff that is needed when war is happening.
As far as like the spectrum of
We're slowing ourselves down.
that's truth. That is facts.
We are just slowing ourselves
Y'all
down.
listen to Posh because he's spitting straight facts right
Yo,
now.
I came with a fire. Yo,
Yes.
the group chat was lit today.
Yeah.
Daddy's been on a mood.
Shit-faced our camping trip. Everyone knows about it if you've listened to the Chelada Boys. We have a group chat that we talk to all the guys with, and today it was just on fire.
Today the group chat was banging,
Yes.
and it was hilarious. We had. I
Roasts.
wish we could just share it with
Roasting
the
the
world.
fuck out of everybody.
Everybody got roasted. I got hit pretty hard. Vinny, you had some good roasts, man. You roasted me
Shout out Benny for fucking breaking my heart.
for mangling me today. I tried to hit back, but damn, that first
He
one,
just
bro,
kept
he
coming.
caught me off guard.
So
I was expecting that.
In closing,
Are we
we're gonna-
closing?
we're gonna wrap it up soon. Yeah. In closing, what are your
My thoughts.
I
Okay.
don't want to say beliefs, but allegations maybe is not right either.
Like I said, the Fermi
As
project
far
is something
as-
new to me. So
do
I've
you think
always
that there's
thought,
intelligent life out there?
100%. 100%.
I think there's
do.
no
I
way
just,
that there's not.
I just don't think that they're advanced enough to get to us.
And
or,
maybe they're not. Maybe they're not humans. Like I don't think they would be humans like we are humans.
or maybe every
Or maybe
living,
they are. Maybe they look exactly
every
like us.
living thing in the universe looks exactly
like us.
Yeah. There's from planet Zoflof or
Yeah.
some shit, something crazy.
Zoloft.
Yeah. Ooh, sleepy. Sleepy. A little sleepy planet. But yes, I do believe that there's intelligent life out here. But now I have this new information of the Fermi paradox that hit my brain, and I go, you know what? It makes sense because the universe is so vast
Yes.
that it's like being on one end of a football field and somebody being in the fucking parking lot.
It's like being the only ant on a football field and thinking that there's no other bugs on that field.
I'm standing on the 50-yard line. I don't know what the guy in the parking lot's doing.
Yeah.
I don't know where he's been. Right now, I'm sitting in Dylan's basement in the podcast lounge, and I don't know what is going on
And
out there.
in comparison,
People
maybe we have the intelligence in comparison.
Mm-hmm.
Maybe we have the intelligence of the ant in the football field compared to the guy who's in the parking lot.
Right. Exactly.
Maybe we do.
The guy in the parking lot is way smarter than us. Maybe the guy in the parking lot has already came to the 50-yard line and was like, nothing impressive. I'm going to go back and wait another eon.
Or maybe they're watching us from afar, and we don't know that.
They're on the dark side of the moon, baby, just waiting. Or under the ocean in places that we can't get to, just waiting. Just
what
waiting.
do you guys think?
Yeah, what's your thoughts?
Do you think that there's intelligent life out there?
And if you do you think, how close do you think we are to finding them? Or if we're
you
even
do,
close?
Do you think they know about us?
Yeah.
It's a good question to ask yourself while you anticipate the next episode of the Chelada Boys.
I really think the Egyptians had it figured out.
I think so too.
I think the Egyptians saw
and
some
maybe they
shit.
had contact, and then we just haven't talked to them. Maybe they were passing by.
Maybe
and
they had a
saw us,
government that was
dropped
trying to
off,
hush
and
it.
gave us the information to advance our civilization into what it is today.
Hey, if we tell all these people that there's aliens out there and all this shit we're doing doesn't matter, nobody's gonna build our pyramids.
Mm-hmm.
You know what I'm saying? Nobody's gonna build our castles. Nobody's gonna do this shit. So it's probably damn son. Did you fart or burp?
Chelsea's making spaghetti.
Oh, okay. No,
It's
no.
baked spaghetti.
Yeah,
it kind of
okay.
smells like a burp though.
It does smell like a burp.
But it smells good now that you know what it
Yeah,
is.
now that I know what it is,
You're like,
I want to bite. But yeah, man, really, at the end of the day, I think what it is, yes, there's intelligent life out there because, again, mathematically, I think it's impossible not for us to be the one speck, the one iota of life in an infinite universe. It's kind of conceited to think, right?
Yeah.
Like, we're the only ones. I doubt it. I'm sure there's plenty of other planets in the Goldilocks, but it's traversing through such a vast and open, desolate area that you're trying to find a needle in a haystack, brother.
We're like the dust that flies through your living room that you don't see.
Yeah, and which dust particle has living things on it and which one doesn't? Can you tell me? Because I can't. I can't. All I see is the little flash of that dust particle, and I never think about it
Never
again.
think about it ever again in my life.
And
we might be just that to
yeah.
the universe.
We're just a dust particle floating through.
But that's something for you to think about. And if you
Everything we do doesn't matter.
tell us what you think down here. Tell us what you think.
Type it out. A little feedback.
Let us know.
Let me get some feedback.
While you're at it, hit that subscribe button.
Hit that bell.
Yeah.
Get them notifications.
Notice.
Get notified.
But as per usual, I'm Dylan.
This is Posh.
And if you ain't a Chelada, go drink you one. If you don't like it, what should they do, Posh?
It's a drink to the right.
That's right. Now, next week, we're going to talk about, speaking of versus universe, we're going to talk about the metaverse. Ooh. We're going to talk about the
Doctor Strange.
The communication between our whole, the metaverse and social media and the effects that it has on our own
It's toxic as
consciousness and everything within that.
Before we get out of here, how many times in your life have you thought about deleting all of your social media platforms?
Like a literal number?
Like, if you could just put a number on
20.
it. Yeah, same. 20. Probably like 20, 25 times. I've just thought about
just getting rid of it altogether.
Committing social internet suicide. Just fucking, I'm done.
But what that does is it
enlightens you.
It disconnects that connection that I have from certain people that I don't like to have a connection with that I might not obviously.
Like we just said, Camp Shitface fucking group chat today was awesome. It was on fire. Everybody was saying something fucking hilarious, except for you, AJ. Tighten that butt up, boy.
Hey man, come on now.
Hey man,
you want to get a little butt hurt.
You want a Bud Light, keep your butt tight. You know what I'm saying?
But we was just joking.
We just joking.
You know,
bro.
we love you.
Yeah,
it was all in fun and games.
It's
Nothing
all
serious.
love, brother. Yeah,
But,
all of that is. So.
But next week we're going to talk about that, and we might have a little special guest named Tyler Adams on the show.
I love Tyler.
Yeah.
I miss that guy.
But ladies and gentlemen, once again, we appreciate you coming through. If you haven't already, like, share, subscribe, do whatever you want to do. At least subscribe. At least like it.
I mean, it's one button click away. What's it gonna do? You're not losing money.
Change the universe, my man.
Yeah.
But it's great talking to you guys. Hope you have a great whatever you're doing.
Love you.
Love you. We'll see y'all next week whenever we talk about the metaverse.
See ya. Perfect.